Welcome. This is the course on digital system design, and in this lecture we will look at the design of sequence detectors. We saw that sequential circuits are the one where the output is dependent upon not only the present input but the sequence of input received, which means that you have one or more input signals that are fed to the circuit, and it remembers the history of the input sequence that it has obtained, and based on that sequence it responds. So, in one sense, all sequential digital circuits can be viewed as the one which detects a sequence in the input binary string that is given to us. Based on the sequence or the pattern that is present in the input binary string, different circuits respond differently. That captures the behavior of those circuits, that defines the function of those circuits. So, sequence detectors are not in any way very specific case of designing digital circuits. So, any given digital system design can in turn be abstracted and viewed as detection of a sequence or a binary pattern in the input signal that is being given. So, with this broad view, we will look at what we mean by sequence detection and how we can systematically go about constructing a finite state machine model that can detect a sequence. There are two kinds of FSMs, Mealy and Moore. We will try to take an example from the Mealy side as well as the Moore side and come up with the sequence detector. Again, to keep things simple, we will assume that there is only one input signal that is given to the system and there is only one output signal. Whatever we discuss here can be extended to the case where there are multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So, let us take an example where you have a circuit or a system, that is a sequential system to be designed, which takes an input, we will call it as X, and it has an output which we will call it as Z. So, the output should become 1 if the input sequence, that is the X, ends in either of the two patterns, one being 0 1 0, the other being 1 0 0 1, anywhere in the sequence. In all other cases, Z should be 0. So, this is the problem statement. To again recollect and understand it better, there is one input X and one output Z, and the Z should be, output should be 0 normally, but it should become 1 if it detects a pattern that is given to us. In this, there could be just only one pattern that the circuit can detect. But we will take a little complex example that it can look for two different patterns. We have already looked at an example in an earlier lecture where a sequence of 101 is being detected by a circuit. Now, we will take a case where two possible patterns can occur and they are of varying length. One is a 3-bit pattern, another is a 4-bit pattern. One is 0 1 0, another is 1 0 0 1. And they can occur anywhere in the sequence in an overlapped manner and so on. So, whenever a bit in the input end ends up with a sequence 0 1 0 or 1 0 0 1, at the same time when the last bit is given, we want the output to respond. By responding, we means its value should change. So, without loss of generality, we can assume that when there is no pattern, the output is 0. When there is a pattern, it becomes 1. We can also view it the other way also. So, when one of these patterns end, then at the same time Z, the output, should become 1 and it remains at 0 otherwise. So, as it is usual when we design a sequence detector, to understand it better, we will come up with some example input sequence and the corresponding output sequence that is expected. That will help us to understand the problem more clearly. While coming up with an input sequence, we will try to include all possible cases that you may encounter, that is no occurrence of pattern during a particular subset of strings, occurrence of one pattern separately and occurrence of the other patterns, or an overlapped occurrence of the first patterns or the overlapped occurrence of the second patterns, or the intermixing of these two patterns, overlapping of 0 1 0 and 1 0 0 1 or the other way and so on. But the idea is that we should become very clear as when the output Z to become 1. There should be no ambiguity. So, let us take a case where the input sequence is as follows. So, how do we first of all come up with this one? This nobody gives, but you have to come up with a pattern where all so called test cases are being laid out, and we hand calculate the output for each of these test cases that occur within this long bit sequence. So, 0 0 means there is no pattern, okay. Even 0 0 1 means there is no pattern. So, that is how we can start. This can be random, but some arbitrary bit sequence where there is no pattern that we are looking for occurs. Then let us introduce a pattern, that is 0 1 0. So, this is a point at which a pattern 0 1 0 has occurred. This 0 is the last bit of the pattern 0 1 0. So, here we will call it as A, we should respond, that is the output should change. So, until this bit the output remains at 0, at the bit corresponding to A it becomes 1. So, that satisfies the test case where the isolated occurrence of the pattern 0 1 0 is being detected. Next, 0 1 0 can be overlapping in the sense that 0 1 0 1 0, which means that this 0 is the last 0 of the pattern 0 1 0, and it can also happen to be the first bit of a new pattern 0 1 0. If that occurs, then in this 0 again there is a pattern 0 1 0 is ending. We will call this bit as B. Here also the output should respond with a 1. So, we have taken care of two cases, isolated occurrence and an overlapped occurrence. Next, 1 0 0 1. Incidentally, we will also club with this one. This 1 0 0 1 can also be overlapping with itself or with the other pattern 0 1 0. So, this pattern 0 1 0 has just completed, but the last two bits is 1 0. That can be the first two bits of a new pattern 1 0 0 1. So, if this 1 0 is followed by a 0 1, then this 1 signifies the last bit of the pattern 1 0 0 1. We will call it as C, and here also we should respond with a 1. Again there can be an overlapping of 0 1 0, here also D should occur. So, here is a case where 0 1 0 is overlapped and followed by 1 0 0 1, and here is a case 1 0 0 1 is followed by 0 1 0 in an overlapped manner. So of course we can also have an overlapping of 1 0 0 1. The only way it can do is this one can be the last one of one pattern and the first one of the following pattern. Okay, that is the only way we can do that one. So then we can have some bits which are nothing to do with our patterns. Then we have again 1 0 0 1, but here we can have a pattern. Here again we can have a pattern and go and so on. So E and F also correspond to a point where the output should respond. So now we have a fairly clear understanding of how the output should behave for the different input cases. How do we tackle this? So the systematic manner in which we can approach the problem is that you first look at special cases where the pattern you are looking for occurs. In that case, how do we capture that functionality of the machine, of the FSM? That accordingly we will draw a state graph that only represents, it is a partial state graph that only captures the functionality of the system corresponding to the case where the pattern that you are looking for occurs. Then we will handle the case where the pattern doesn't occur or any random sequence and so on. See, at such, there can be infinite of sequence that occurs. Given a bit, before that, there can be an infinite ways in which the previous bits could have occurred. Number one, that you have to note. But you can also tell another thing, this is a 3-bit pattern, this is a 4-bit pattern. So at any given point, you don't need to worry about the bits that has occurred 3 or 4 time points ahead, backward in time. Okay, that will not have any save over this one. Even if you consider a 4, if you look at any given bit position, if you club 4 bits along with that particular bit and then analyze it, there are 16 possible ways in which it can occur. Okay, so it's not that you have to write out all those such cases and then handle it in the state graph to begin with. We can start looking at the case that is of importance to us and capture the functionality of the machine for that, and anything else which is not of interest to us can be then handled easily. So we will first consider the case 0 1 0. Supposing we start off from a state and then this pattern 0 1 0 occurs, how will you let the machine detect this pattern 0 1 0? So we will start off with a state. Again we will let us take an approach that we will follow a Mealy approach to design the circuit. We could have followed a Moore approach also. It's just a matter of our taste or our convenience to choose one way or other. Let's say we are using a Mealy approach. Let's start with a state S0, which we will call it as a reset state or a state where no pattern has occurred, or maybe the first bit of the bit sequence that we are looking at. So we will take a case where the pattern that we are looking for 0 1 0 occurs, which means we are so lucky that to begin with itself the first 3 bits are the one which you are looking for. So in this so called best case scenario or the most interesting case scenario, how do we let our machine handle it? So if a 0 occurs, then what do? You should remember that this 0 can be the first bit of the pattern you are looking for. At least you should remember that, although that you should not respond with a 1 at this point because it is just the first 0, but you should remember it. So you have to generate another state, we will call it as S1. But while going to this state S1, you should only output 0 because the pattern is not yet occurred. Why do we have the state S1? Because we remember that the first bit of the sequence 0, 1, 0 has occurred. Next, if the second bit is 1, then we should remember that the sequence 0, 1 has occurred so far. That is different from remembering just the partial sequence 0. So, this is the partial sequence 0, 1. So, these two are different cases. So, you should have one more state, call it as S2. S2 corresponds to the case where the first two bits of the pattern 0, 1 has occurred. But in going to S2, we should still output a 0. Next, if the third bit happens to be 0, 0, 1, 0, then the pattern has occurred. We should output a 1. Okay. So, we should output a 1 and let us say we go to a state S3. Okay. So, we will again at this stage we may not know whether we should create a new state or use this one. They are different, okay, because this has a different designation, that it is the case where only a 0 has occurred. Here a 0, 1 followed by a 0 has occurred. So, they are different. So, we will create a state called S3. So, this much is very clear. Now, we can do little bit more. Suppose it is not only that the pattern 0, 1, 0 has occurred, it is followed by an overlapping pattern of 0, 1, 0. That is, this 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 is overlapped by another 0, 1, 0, and this overlapping can go on forever, which means that at all these zeros we should produce an 1. So, it is basically a 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0 and so on. So, if that occurs, the machine should be able to respond. So, in this case, when a 1 occurs, this can be viewed as a case where a 1 occurs followed by a 0, and before that there is a 1. So, this is again a 0, 1, but before that there is a 1. So, it is just the first two bits of a possibly a new pattern, which can be an overlapping one. So, that has to be understood. Again, already we have a state S2 which represents the case where 0, 1 has occurred. So, we can go back to S2. So, a 1 occurs, you can think of whether to create a new state or to go back to S2. We can immediately conclude that it is better we go back to S2. That way we can handle overlapped 0, 1, 0s. Okay, we have handled this case 0, 1, 0. But this is only a partial, because we have not bothered about the other possible random patterns occurring and these cases. But now, to understand what we have done, we will have some sort of an table. It is not a truth table, but a table where what is the meaning of each states, we will write it out. So, state S0 is something like a reset state where no pattern has been detected. S1 corresponds to receiving a pattern 0. S2 corresponds to a case where a pattern 0, 1 has been received. There might have been inputs bits before that, but we are only noting down the bits partial pattern that is of interest to us, ignoring anything that has occurred previously. Then S3 corresponds to a case where a 0, 1, 0 has occurred. Okay. Now, how do we handle this pattern 1, 0, 0, 1? Well, now you can proceed along the similar line. we'll start with another reset state, but you don't need another reset state. You can use the same reset state. Of course, this is where none of the two patterns have occurred. So start off with S0 and you go to states one after another looking for the correct bits as we traverse the state. That is, when a 1 occurs, you go to a state, call it as S4. Again another 0 occurs, you go to a state, call it as S5. Another state, call it as S6, go to 0. And then if you have a 1, you go to a state by outputting a 1 and so on. That way this pattern can be deducted by another partial state diagram, but starting from S0 but having a different branch like this. But again, we have to merge them into a single one. So we will do that, but only thing is we have a different branch with 4 cases, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Should we eventually we have to club it together. So should we have a separate branch altogether and then later on look at clubbing it, or is it possible to club it even while charting out the pattern, the partial state graph for 1, 0, 0, 1? That is the question. Now, so here is the branch. Don't worry about this S3 being reused right now. Here is a branch where we are handling 1, 0, 0, 1. So for a 1, you go to S4, outputting a 0. Again a 0, you output a 0 and go to a state. To begin with, it need not be S3. It can be S7 or whatever is a new state. So 1, 0 has been handled, followed by another 0, followed by a 1. So this is the second pattern of interest to us. Until this last one occurs, we should keep outputting a 0. That is what we are doing. If the last bit, the fourth bit is 1, we have to output a 1 and go to a state. That much is very clear. So where do we go and all is something we have to discuss. But right now, all these 4 states should be distinct from these 3 states or not. If you look at S3, we have arrived at S3 in this branch by going through 1, 0. Whereas the older circuit, S3 is obtained after receiving a 0, 1, 0. So if you look at S3, it is also a 1, 0 is the one which has led to S3. So the same is the case for this state which comes from S4. So indeed that state is the same as S3. So that is why from S4 we are going to S3, because you reach S3 after a 1, 0 here or a 1, 0 here. Okay. So this is, you can later on verify also. Okay. That is previously whatever bit that has occurred prior to 1, 0. Okay. These 2 branches will take care of all those cases. So S3 has been obtained. Now from S5 we are responding with a 1 for the case of 1, 0, 0, 1. Where do we do? Where do we go? To a new state, or can we reuse one of the existing state, and so on. Again we have to handle the overlapping condition. Why are we going to S3 is because this 1, 0 is similar to the last 1, 0 of 101. So this 1, 0, first 2 bits 1, 0 of the second pattern is the same as the last 2 bits of the first pattern. That is why we are going to this so called S3. While going to a state when the last one has occurred, we should look at again, is there a case Does it resemble a case which you have already handled, where the last 2 bits are 0, 1? That is very similar to the case of a 0, 1, 0 occurring. See, this last 2 bit 0, 1 is similar to the first 2 bits of the first pattern. So, when the last one occurs, we should go to a state which handles this 0, 1 case, which is nothing but this state S2, because that also is the one which is ending with 0, 1. So, what we can do is, this one we can actually go to S2, because that way a 1, 0, 0, 1 followed by a 0 will go to S3. Okay, we will handle overlapping of 1, 0, 0, 1 and 0, 1, 0. So, what we do is, we will actually this last bit 1 of 1, 0, 0, 1, we do not create a new state, we go back to S2. That way, if there is a 1, 0, 0, 1 followed by a 0, 1, a 0, then we will handle it, because it is a 0, 1, 0, we are handling it, and followed by a 1, 0, 1, 0, we will be handling it. Or here again a 0, 1, 0 followed by a 0, 1 is same as 0, 1, 0 followed by a 0, 1 is 1, 0, 0, 1. That is also an overlapping condition. We again produce a 1 and go here. So, both overlapping can be taken care of if you go to S2. So, now we have clubbed both this partial state graph handling the pattern 0, 1, 0 and 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. But still the other possibilities has to be worked out. All possible infinite sequences to be handled. But now these are the only states that are needed to satisfy the functionality of our system. So, the only thing that we need to do is, now in each of this state, occurrence of both possible bits have to be handled. If you do that, then our design is complete. You do not need to look for all other random sequences, all will be taken care of, as long as we have enough states to satisfy the functionality, and in each state both possibilities of 1s and 0s are being taken care of. So, this is the next exercise that we are going to do, that is in S0 we have already taken care of by merging these two things. So, what we are basically doing is, we have merged we have merged this state graph, and we are also taking from S5 we are going to S2, two patterns. Now, in S0 we have handled both cases of a 0 and 1 occurring, and in S1 also we have to handle. In S1 we have already handled 1, but a 0 can also occur in S1. What do we do? But if a 0 occurs, we should go back to S1, because S1 is the one where we remember a 0. And if a 0 is followed by a sequence of zeros, the only thing that we have to remember is that just a 0 has occurred, which can be the first bit of the pattern 0, 1, 0. So, we should remain in 0, we only remember that a 0 has occurred, and before that it is something which is nothing to do with the pattern. Similarly, in S1 we have handled both bits. Let us come to S4. In S4, this 0 we have already handled, but a 1 can occur. If a 1 occurs, then it is no more the pattern 1 0, but it is a pattern 1 1. The only thing we need to remember is that a 1 has occurred, which can be the first bit of the pattern 1 0 0 1. So that is what S4 stands for. So you just go back to S4 by outputting a 0. So these two states, these three states have been taken care of. Now in S1, S3, we have already taken care of both 0 and 1. While drawing this part of the circuit, we have taken care of this 1, and for the other one 0 has been taken care of here and so on. So S3 is also over. S4, if you look at, now this 0 1 0 we have taken care of, but this 0 1 there can be a possibility of 1 occurring in S2. What will it mean? A 0 1 or a 0 1 followed by a 1. So it is a 1 1 case. So which means the pattern is totally broken. But the only thing that we have to remember is that in a sequence of ones, the last one can be the first one of the pattern 1 0 0 1. So that is S4. So we have to just go back to S4. So 1 followed 1 bar 0, we have to go to S4. And in S5, so that is 1 0 0. If 1 occurs, the pattern is complete, but a 0 occurs. So it means that 1 followed by 3 zeros. There is nothing to correspond with this sequence with any pattern that we are looking for. Only thing we have to remember is that there is a 0 at the end. That can be the first 0 of the pattern 0 1 0. That is, we have to go back to S1. So now we have completed the state graph. So what we mean by completing a state graph is that at the end of this, you have to check whether the all cases, test cases are handled properly. The pattern we are looking for is being detected by responding with a 1, either in an isolated manner or in an all possible overlapped manner. This is what we have to do. You have to, that is the test you have to do. Next, whether in each state the possibility of occurring of both values of the bit, input bit 0 and 1, whether it is taken care of. If you do that one, then the sequence detector is complete. So this is how you have to do the sequence detector method. If you are not able to decide at any point whether a state can be reused or a new state has to be generated, you can go ahead generating a new state and check whether the machine is complete, the FSM is complete, in the sense that, as I mentioned, the rules are sequence, isolated or overlapped in all possible manners are being taken care of, and all states, both zeros and ones, are being taken care of. But if we have generated extra states, there is no harm, the machine will still work, but it is not a reduced one. Then we have to go in for a row reduction technique. We have seen techniques like that is elimination of rows, or there is a technique called the implication table method. Using one of these methods, we have to reduce the state graph. Now we will look at another example of a sequence detector. So in one sense, although it is somewhat systematic, it needs, each problem requires probing the, understanding the problem and probing the design in a manner that the circuit that we eventually get is minimal as well as functional. So in one sense, it comes up with practice. So it is, in that sense, it is also an art. The more you practice with designing sequence detector, the more conversant you are in designing it with lesser mistakes and also in a manner where the states are reduced. So, some of the, while you go through these examples, these will tell you some of the techniques that you can use. The technique that we have looked at is look for each of the pattern and handle the best case scenarios, and then merge individual state graphs, and then handle the case where other possibilities can occur. Now, we will look at a case where we want to design a more sequential circuit. Again, there is one input and one output. The input is called X, the output is called Z. The output Z should become 1 under the following conditions. 1. If the total number of ones received in the sequence is odd, and the other condition is at least 2 consecutive zeros has been received. Let me read. The output Z is to be 1 if the total number of ones received is odd and at least 2 consecutive zeros has been received. In all other cases, the output should be 0. So, what we are looking for is, in the input sequence that is received, starting from the first bit, you should know whether the number of ones that has occurred is odd or even. Only when the number of ones is odd, we should respond. If it is even, we should not respond. But that is not the only condition. There is also a second case condition. It has to be odd and at least 2 consecutive zeros has to be received in the input pattern. The input pattern should have 2 zeros, consecutive zeros. Then only you should apply this condition of the number of ones being odd and then output of 1. So, this is a typical input output sequence. Let us say the input, if to begin with the number of we should keep looking at the number of ones that has occurred. We should have a count of the number of ones, and based on the count we should deduct whether it is odd or even. So, that means we have to keep on generating many states, each state representing one possible integer in the set of all integers. But a little thinking will tell you that this is not required. We have to only distinguish between odd and even case. So, a count is not required. We can have 2 states, one representing that the number of ones received so far is even, another representing the number of ones received so far is odd. So, that is enough. So, we can have a state called S0, which corresponds to the case when the even ones have occurred, number of ones is even. Now, if the next bit is 1, that the number of ones will become odd, the count will become odd. When the count is odd, when a bit 1 occurs, it will become even. We know this property. So, we can switch between these 2 states, one call it as even, another call it as odd ones, based on a 1 occurring. Okay. Let us not look, okay, this is how we can do. So, we will have one state called S0, which represents the count of ones that has occurred so far is even, another state S1 where the number of ones that has occurred is odd, and we will switch between these 2 states whenever the bit 1 has occurred. When a bit 0 has occurred, it is not going to change the odd even condition. So, if it is odd, a 0 will retain the state and it will remain in odd. If it is even number of ones, a 0 will not change that case, will remain here. So, we can have a self loop here, this for 0 and here as a 0. We will do that later. Well, now we are looking for one more condition, 2 consecutive zeros. Suppose this condition has not yet occurred. then this is how the machine should behave. Because the condition has not yet occurred, so we cannot output a 1, we should keep outputting only zeros. But we should remember the count, because any time this condition can be met simply by getting 2 consecutive zeros. But moment the condition is met, based on the number of ones received so far, we should start responding. So you cannot tell that I will wait and keep outputting zeros without bothering about the count until 2 zeros have occurred. But because any time the condition has occurred, we should go back. This may occur at the 100th bit, 2 consecutive zeros. But until that, if you have not kept track of the count, we won't know how to handle. So we should continue to keep track of the count, but output a zeros until this condition is met. So this is the state graph where the condition is not met, but we just keep track of the count. S0 for even, S1 for odd. Supposing the condition is met, we will now know how to change this graph. Then this with that can be handled by a case where whenever there is an odd, the output has to be 1. Whenever there is an even, the output has to be 0. So we can come up with 2 partial state graphs. One state graph keeping track of the count when the condition is not met, which is this. Another state graph where the condition has been met, that is 2 consecutive zeros, and after that how the machine should behave. The only change is that here we should have a 1. Now we should merge these two. We should go from this state graph to the other state graph based on the condition, that is 2 consecutive zeros. Now let us look at this input sequence. If there is a 1, it means an odd number of 1. Okay, we will call it as A. But now we should produce only a 0. So this 0 represents that you are in a state where not even no bit has occurred, but still you should have some valid count. We will say that the number of ones is zeros. Okay, that is the output is 0. Okay, because when the no bit has occurred, we will treat it as even and we will simply respond zeros. When a 1 has occurred, the count is odd, but the condition has not occurred, so we output 0. We will use a Moore machine approach to design it. So the output corresponding to this bit received will be given out of the Moore machine only in the next clock period, because the output will not be a function of the current input, it will be only a function of state. So that is why we have written this 0, which tells how the machine should respond based on this one clock period later. Now there is again 0, okay, it is still odd, 1, now it has become even, but until that we have to keep on producing zeros. Again a 1, it becomes odd, 1, 1, 1, odd. So that is B. Again we produce a 0, this becomes again an odd. Now let us say 2 zeros have occurred, this condition is met. Now as soon as 2 zeros occurred, you don't need to wait for a 1 to occur. Now look at whether the condition has been met at this pace. Now what is the count? Based on that you should respond. The count at this point, the moment the condition has occurred, is the count is odd, 3 ones. So at this point you should understand that we should output a 1. But of course, being a Moore, you will not do it at this point, you will do it 1 clock period later. That is what at this point. Next there is a 1, although the condition is now met, now the input is now even, you don't output anything. Again there is a 1, it now turns again back to odd, you output a 1. So until this point, condition is not met. From here onwards, the condition is met, and you should respond based on the count. So this is the first partial graph when the condition is not met. When the condition is met, then the state graph will be like this. This is the even case where we output 0. This is the odd case where we output 1 because it is odd and the condition is being met also. How do we switch between these two? Whenever 1 occurs, the 1 flips the odd state to even state to odd state and the odd state back to the even state. So this is the case. This is the case when the condition is not met, but we keep track of the even and odd condition. This is the subset of the state graph where we keep track of the count, odd and even, but the condition is met. Accordingly, the machine behaves. See, there is an output of 1 here, whereas there are output of 0 here. How do we go from the partial state graph where the condition is not met and to the state graph where the condition is met? 2 consecutive ones, zeros. So that we can find out by creating this. Suppose we are in S0, which is the even state. When a 0 occurs, you go to a state where you remember that it is the first 0 of a possible consecutive 2 zeros. One more 0, condition met, so you go to S3. So S0, S2, S3 corresponds to the case where the number of ones received is even. Okay. But here the condition is not met, here the condition is met, here on its way to be met. In a similar manner, while you are in S1, also 2 consecutive zeros can occur. So if that be the case, you have to replicate this part of the graph here. From S1 you can go to a state when a 0 occurs, and one more 0 you can go to S4. But note that although when 0, 0 occurs, you are looking for a condition is being met, you have to remember whether you are on the even side or on the odd side of the state graph. This is the even side and this is the odd side. You should remember that. So why? Because if the condition is met starting from S1 with the occurrence of 2 zeros, you will immediately go to the state S4 where the condition is met and you are on the odd side, so immediately N1. But on the other hand, if you are on this side, although the condition is met, still you are on even, so you will output a 0. So now we will club these two and draw a graph. Before that, the significance of the various states can be noted down. S0 is a reset or the even number of ones. S1 odd ones. S2 even ones, but a 0 has occurred. It ends in a 0. S3 even ones, but 2 consecutive zeros has occurred. S4 2 zeros has occurred, an odd one. So now what we have done is we have also included this branch and this branch. Of course, we have not yet put this self loops and all these things. We will see how these comes. Okay. So at this point, S0, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 are there, but many of these transitions are not yet handled. Now we know how to handle the case of keep track of even and odd condition and also condition of 2 consecutive zeros are all being handled. But now no more state is required to capture the functionality. But the states have to be consistent. What do we mean by that? That is, in any given state, the possibility of 0 and 1 can occur. They have to be handled. So in S0, already a 0 and 1 has been handled. In S1 also 1 and 0 has been handled. Now handling zeros here and here, it becomes very simple. As I have already mentioned, you can put a self loop 0 here, you can put a self loop of 0 here, and here also if we are in an even state and further occurrence of 0 will not change it to the odd state. So that is the case where the condition is met and it is even. Here condition is met and you are in odd, a 0 will only bring it back to S4. Okay. Now in S2, suppose a 0 occurs, you are looking for 2 consecutive zeros, 1 0 has occurred. Instead of the second 0 occurring, if a 1 occurs, what do? Then the condition is not met. We have to again look for 2 consecutive zeros because this 1 has spoiled that. So what do? We should again go back and look for 2 consecutive zeros. Shall we go to S0? Because S0 is the where you are looking for 2 consecutive zeros. But this is a 1. It not only signifies that the pattern is broken, the 2 consecutive zeros have not occurred. You should again start looking for 2 consecutive zeros. But a 1 will switch the number of ones from odd to even, from even to odd. So you should actually go back to S1 and not S0. So that is what this 1 does. You go to S1. Similarly, if you are in S5 looking for 2 consecutive zeros, but unfortunately a 0 is followed by a 1, again you should start looking for 2 consecutive zeros, but again don't go to S1 because this 1 will flip from odd side to the even side, so you go to S0. Okay. Now with this all states have been handled. To sum up, this is a case of keeping track of the count on odd and even case where the condition is not met. This is where the condition is met and we keep track of the even and odd case. And this is the one where the consecutive 0 conditions are being kept handled. And this is all the even part of the state graph. This is all the odd part of the state graph. So this way of thinking and arriving at the state graph will make it more easier to handle the case. But this comes with practice, and once you master these tricks of dividing the bigger problem into smaller problem and handling it separately, similar to a divide and conquer rule, then the design becomes neater, easier, and so on. So with this I will stop our discussion on the sequence deductor. Thank you.